Happy New Year, Rangers fans! Welcome to yet another edition of From the Blue Seats, a New York Rangers podcast presented by DraftKings. I'm Jimmy Fanizzi. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Make sure you follow us on X and Instagram at BlueSeats94 and use the hashtag BlueSeats to chat with us on any and all topics at hand. You can also send us fan mail from the Blue Seats at gmail.com. That's from the Blue Seats at gmail.com. Also, make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube and subscribe on all audio platforms. And be sure to rate us 5 stars. It would mean the world to us. First and foremost, Happy New Year. I hope the holiday season was awesome for you. And may 2026 be nothing short of amazing for you. May it bring you nothing but happiness and peace throughout the year. I truly do hope and pray that for you. So, the Winter Classic. Let's talk about it for a little bit, shall we? Because it ties into my mid-season review for this team. And, spoiler alert, it's the same old song and dance that's been going on this whole season so far. But before we even get into that again, the Winter Classic, Rangers versus Panthers, took place on January 2nd at Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida, home of the Miami Marlins. And I don't know how, but they made it work in Miami. They had the roof open and everything. I mean, who knew it could actually work in Miami? I mean, the setup was absolute garbage. I was not a fan of Despacito being the opening song to the players coming out of the locker room. I mean, really? Like, what was that? I get it. You have to have some sort of music to have the players come out to, but Despacito? Really? Maybe it's just because I'm not a huge fan of that song. That's just me, but I digress. I did like, Role Model's performance. Role Model was actually very, very, very good. But that's beside the point. Pre-game festivities, intermission festivities, post-game festivities, you know, they go all out every year. It's the Winter Classic. It's a big deal, and you expect them to go all out. But as far as the game itself, truthfully, I was not expecting much. I wasn't. I was expecting a competitive game, that I will say. But I was expecting the Panthers to win. Only because I don't trust this Rangers team. I don't. I know Florida has their own injuries they're dealing with. But Florida, 2-time Stanley Cup champion. And while it hasn't been the season that the Panthers had hoped for, I still think that they are a better team than the Rangers. But the Rangers, all of a sudden, decided to show up and play a complete hockey game for once this season. They beat the Florida Panthers 5-1 in the 2026 NHL Winter Classic. Not just beat Florida, they embarrassed them. Despite having only 19 or 20 shots on goal and the Panthers had 37, the Rangers somehow played a complete game and won. And this game was a classic example of sometimes it's not about the amount of shots that you get on net, it's the quality of the shots that count. And sure enough, the Rangers net 5 goals. Mika Zibanejad with probably the best game of the season so far for him personally. A 5-point night, including a hat trick. Artemi Panarin with 2 goals. Alexis Lafreniere, who we've all been waiting on to finally see a good thing from him this season. He had a 3-point night with 3 assists, so you love to see that from him. You hope this is the start of what is hopefully going to be a turnaround for not just him, but for the entire Ranger team. But Mika Zibanejad, man, I want to touch on him for a second because right before the game started, I was just scrolling through X and Instagram, minding my own business. I've seen a lot of Zibanejad hate. Now, look, I know some Ranger fans aren't really too fond of Mika Zibanejad, especially after the down year that he had last year, but he went out there on the Winter Classic, and for one game, he shut everybody up. He proved that, hey, he still got it. He still got it. And quite frankly, actually, if I can pull up Zibanejad's numbers here, give me 1 second. In 42 games played so far this season, because we're about halfway through already, and it's amazing to believe we're already halfway through the NHL season. Mika Zibanejad so far has 15 goals, 20 assists for 35 points, and a plus-minus rating of -9. And while, yes, the -9 does need to improve, I personally think that Mika Zibanejad is having a very, very decent season. Considering the year that he had last year, I know those numbers may not be impressive to some, but if you look at his overall style of play, Mika Zibanejad is actually having a pretty decent season. He's having a bounce back year, in a year where this team really is a roller coaster. It really, really is. But Zibanejad is actually one of the few veterans on this team that has actually been a bright spot. Panarin's been up and down, but he had a 2-goal game, so you like to see that from him. Hopefully this kickstarts him too. And I know everybody's clamoring about Alexis Lafreniere and about how they're done with him. He had a 3-assist game, a 3-point night in the Winter Classic. And look, I've defended him for a while, and I'll be honest with you, I'm going to continue to defend him only because the Rangers just re-signed him. And in my opinion, he's not going anywhere. You're stuck with him for another 5 years. Unless for some reason, he decides, I want out. That's it. You're stuck with Alexis Lafreniere. And I know Ranger fans are becoming very impatient with him, but how does the old saying go? Patience is a virtue. I know Lafreniere had that one good year in 22-23, and we're waiting to see that from him again. I truly do think that is going to come one year. It may not be this year, but next year, it might. You never know. And hey, you know what? If it doesn't come next year, then you can say, you know what? Hey, thank you for your service. We'll move on from you. But I'm still defending Alexis Lafreniere. He's still a young kid. It's a down year for him. I get it, but I'm still going to be as patient as I can with him. So, Alexis Lafreniere, again, I get the frustration, but just try to have a little bit more patience with him. I understand if you don't, but for me, I'm being just a teeny bit more patient with him. That's just me, though. The jaw-dropping moments that make hockey, hockey. Experience them all with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Missouri listeners, listen up. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in the Show Me State, which means you can place a bet on anything going on in the NHL. And new customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. All you have to do is download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY at 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boo Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, pass-through per wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. Copyright NHL 2025. All rights reserved.
But back to the game, the Rangers, I mean, that was just a big win for them, a massive 2 points in the standings. Again, against a team that, yes, while they are riddled with injuries, they are the 2-time back-to-back Stanley Cup champion. Igor Shesterkin stood on his head once again and is proving that he is not the problem for the Rangers this season. I'm going to repeat that for you. Igor Shesterkin is not, I repeat, not the problem for the Rangers this season. He stopped 36 out of 37 Florida Panthers shots, and he got another dub. I believe he is 17, 14, and 2, I believe this, or 3, actually. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that. So, he's 3 games over 500. I mean, it's not his fault that the team around him is so inconsistent, it's not even funny. But, Shesterkin stood on his head, and the big guns, Zibanejad, Panarin, and Lafreniere, came through in a big way. And you hope that a game like this kickstarts a rebound in 2026. You hope that a game like this is a signal of hopefully better days to come for the New York Rangers this season. Now, do I expect them to go win the Stanley Cup this season? I do not. They're not winning the Stanley Cup this year. Do I expect them to be in the playoffs? I know I've kind of contradicted myself once or twice, but at the end of the day, after what I saw last in the Winter Classic, if they can keep that up, then I do expect them to be in the playoffs. I do. I don't think they'll be a top 3 team, but I do expect them to be fighting for a wild card spot. They just need to be more consistent. Neil Villapiano put it best when I had him on the show, host of Devil's State of Mind podcast. He said the best way to describe this Rangers season has been consistently inconsistent. And he's right. This season has been consistently inconsistent, and it's just been so frustrating to watch. And what makes it even more frustrating is that you watch them on the road, and you see how good they are on the road. But then you watch them at home, and they're a pee-wee hockey team. I mean, yes, granted, they have been playing a teeny bit better at home, but even still, where are the wins? Where are the wins? Clearly, they play better, A, outside because they're 6-0-0 all-time in outdoor games, and B, away from Madison Square Garden for some reason this year. You really can't make it up. You can't. And sure enough, the Rangers were the road team in that game because they were in Miami, and they showed you why they're one of the best road teams in the NHL. The Rangers went into Miami and took care of business in a big way. Now, do I expect them to build off of this? That is the million-dollar question, and I cannot give a clear answer to you, because that's a problem. The Rangers have trouble building on these games, and it's been a constant theme all year. Go back and look at that crazy game against the Dallas Stars at MSG. Did they build off that win? Nope. Look at the game at home against Montreal. Did they build off that win? Nope. Look at the crazy shootout win that they got at home against the Philadelphia Flyers. The surprising Philadelphia Flyers, I might add. Did they build off of that? Nope. They proceeded to lose 2-1 to the Nashville Predators. This is a problem. If you can't build on these crazy wins that you're getting, you are not making the playoffs. I expect them to still get there, or at least fight for a wild card spot at the end of the day. But if they can't build off wins like this Winter Classic win right here, like the game against the Flyers, like the game against Montreal, etc., then they're not going anywhere. Forget their lack of scoring, because we can talk about that all day long. Building off of those big wins has to be the epicenter of the rest of the season. If the Rangers can find the formula to do that, then they will be in the playoffs. And again, I expect them to be there. Do I expect them to win a cup? Absolutely not. But I just hope and pray that Mike Sullivan and Mika Zibanejad or any of the other alternate captains out there like Vincent Trocheck or anybody else to say, hey, that was a big win for us. We need to start building off these wins and showing the league that we mean business. And it starts now. You did it in the Winter Classic. Now go out there and do it again. I know you're not going to win every single game, but if you can just string together a nice winning streak for once. You've had a couple of 3-game winning streaks this year. You have not been able to win 4 in a row all year. If you can somehow do that and keep building off of that, then we might be talking about this team with a different light. But you got to start with building off on the Winter Classic win. It starts there. At the time of this recording, it's January 4th, 2026. They play tomorrow night, January 5th, against the Utah Mammoth at home. You have to go in there and win that game. Utah's a 500 team. They're no slouch, though. They can be competitive, led by Clayton Keller and the boys. But you got to go out there and win that game. You have to. If you lose against Utah, then the same thing's going to be said. Oh, they can't finish. They can't win at home, the usual. Go out there and change the script. Go build off this Winter Classic win. You saw what Mika Zibanejad did out there. Like I said, he had a 5-point game, including a hat trick. The first ever Winter Classic hat trick. Artemi Panarin had 2 goals. Alexis Lafreniere had 3 assists. Go out there and do it again. Now, I'm not asking you to score a hat trick every game or score 2 goals every game, because that's not going to happen. But go out there and play a game kind of like that again. Be a complete team and stop taking stupid penalties. Granted, a couple of them in the Winter Classic were questionable, but even still, you saw what happened after what? The 4th or 5th time the Rangers took a penalty? They were up 3-0. Florida went on the power play, and they broke the shutout. They scored on the power play, made it 3-1. The discipline factor has to be fixed. That's another big thing. You need to be a complete team. Start building off these big wins. And it starts with this one. That Winter Classic win was massive. A big 2 points. Go out there and win again. You have to. If you want to rewrite the script, you want to prove everybody wrong, you want to shut everybody up, go out there and do it again. But despite the big Winter Classic win, we are halfway through the year, and unfortunately, I have to give the same grade that I gave the Rangers the past 2 times already. A C. At least I'm being consistent, because they're not right now. Hopefully that can change. But right now, I'm still giving them the same grade. I'm giving them a C. That's just me. What say you? What grade would you give the Rangers for the halfway mark of the season? And let me know your thoughts on the Winter Classic win on X and Instagram at BlueSeats94. Use hashtag BlueSeats, or leave a comment down below if you're watching on YouTube. And like and subscribe while you're at it, and hit that bell so you're notified of all episodes that are uploaded. And make sure you subscribe on Apple, Spotify, YouTube Music, wherever you listen to your podcasts. And be sure to rate us 5 stars. It would mean the world to us. Make sure you follow the Hockey Podcast Network on socials at HockeyPodNet. That's where my show is. And of course, once again, we are sponsored by DraftKings. Use code THPN at sign up. New customers who bet $5 get $200 in bonus bets if their bet wins. That's code THPN only at DraftKings. Must be 21 or older in select states, and please play responsibly. The Rangers must build off these wins, and it starts with this one. Can they do it? I sure hope so. Let's hear from you. I'm Jimmy Fanizzi. This is From the Blue Seats, a New York Rangers podcast. Go Blue Shirts! Happy New Year! And we'll catch you next time. Peace!